one in. We'll talk a little bit about the perspective on this. Now again, I chose some of these at random just because they were on my computer from downloading them and because you could see them, or at least I think you can see them a little bit better than maybe some others. Now here again is a perfect example of how to set that perspective up. Now if you take your pencil and cite this vertical line, okay, because that's the edge of my paper, I can see what that angle right there is. I can get a feeling for what that shape is what I'm trying to say, that negative space right in here. And that lets me draw that angle correctly. So I know then how this line is going to lay. Now as it was, I think the drawing I corrected, I didn't do it quite this way, but as it was, this particular perspective is wrong, and the reason we know that is because if this were really the way it looked, all of these things would become rolling off. These eggs wouldn't be stationary at all, would they? And it's one of those perspective errors in getting these sides to go back. Now, there are two ways to do this, and I'm going to use a rectangle this time to show you instead of just drawing the different lines. Let me just show you this. Um, if this is the front edge here, all right, I'm going to drag this over so that we'll find, and I'm kind of making that parallel here, then this angle could be like that, which is the way they've drawn it. But if that's the case, that's probably too much of a slant. How would you know it's too much of a slant? Well, you'd take this or a horizontal line and you'd probably line it up to this edge here and read that space right in there. Or if the vertical line is too difficult, bring the horizontal line in like that and read what that space, that negative space is right there, okay? Now, let's assume that this angle is correct right in there. Then by perspective, you're going to be able to see how far back that goes from this edge back to this edge. How far would that be? Now my guess is this is probably both got some problems, so let me move these out of the way. And using either intuitive or something else, my guess is that probably we're going to either come in like this to make that work, and even as I say that, this is probably going to have to come down a little bit more. Now that being the case, that spoon would have to be changed, and you could know that by paying close attention to what that shape is in there. But it's either going to be like that, and that flattens out that shelf, or it's going to be like this. It's going to be the kind of thing where this goes back like that. Now if that's the case, chances are this back edge is going to be just a little bit shorter than the front edge. Not a lot, but it is going back into space. Not a lot, see? And if that's the case, you can do this kind of thing if you want. And that's probably not quite, because the front edge is going to be a little bit bigger. You can measure all this. You can cite all this. My guess is that this is probably more. It looks like we've got a two-sided or two-point linear perspective drawing going on here. Maybe not. If that's the case, then that would be going that way, that would be going this way. But if I'm confusing you, please forget that. But looking at linear perspective, this is kind of the way that's going to work. With this edge parallel, as it were, to the front. Now, if it's a little off, here's another thing that can be going on, and that's this kind of thing. And if that's the case, then that's going to go like that. Then what governs these edges is a two-point perspective, which would be a vanishing point somewhere over here, probably, maybe over there, and another vanishing point maybe over here. Now, we're not going to do that. My guess is that we're going to, or what I think he probably or she saw was something like this, where this front edge right here was pretty much parallel to the surface of the paper. And if that's the case, then you get a little bit more like we had a minute ago, something like this. Let me adjust these sides so that they begin to look right. Something like that, okay? Anyway, that's kind of where I was trying to go and showing you how to cite this. Now, this happens, this holds true for this drawing, this holds true for this drawing. If I can get it to come back. Gee, it disappeared when I brought it up. Oh, I know. Let me see. I need to go up to Object and Arrange and Bring to Front. Sorry. There, I think that'll work now. Nope. Try it again. Object, Arrange, Bring to Front. Still isn't going to work. Well, let me ignore that. Let's pull this one over and see if it works. No, I've got all of these things, I'm afraid, in front of this document. Sorry, these aren't going to show up for you. But anyway, I think you can probably see this. Nope, you can't. You can only see it. Well, can't see it at all now, can I? Sorry. Oh dear. This is not your problem. This is something that's going on with my software, and I haven't done a video like this with this particular software before. For some reason, this is all it wants to show you. But the same sort of thing is going on up here. If I can move this little guy up. Well, now I got the wrong selection tool. I know I'm making you crazy right about now. Let's see if I can pull this one up. Everything is gone. Yeah, this is the kind of thing that's going on up here as well, I would guess. So making this kind of rectangle that's in the drawing resemble that shape is probably the way to go there. And with this one, if you can see part of it over here, this one I think was beginning to work okay. No, it's still not going to work for me. But I think my issue with this drawing was something over there. But anyway, I think this is beginning. Nice job on sighting there. I think this is Kendall's. But anyway, thanks you guys, and I hope this didn't confuse you as much as I suspect it might have. I hope it helped a little bit. Anyway, sighting, very important. Practice, practice, practice. Talk to you soon.